In 2011 and 2012, the Mazda 3 was Australia's most popular car. There was a bit of a reason for that though. A lot of buyers were waiting for this, the new third generation 3. It's easy to recognise the resemblance to the other newest members of Mazda's showroom lineup, the CX-5 SUV and Mazda 6 medium car. The company's Kodo design language has translated nicely into small car proportions, and we think the sedan looks particularly handsome. Mazda has also sharpened the 3's value equation, with more equipment included across a range that comprises 6 trim grades. This includes the return of the Astina badge for the first time since the old 323. Pricing covers a $20,000 spectrum, ranging up to the $40,000 plus mark once on-road costs are added. Picking between the 5-door and 4-door makes no difference to what you pay. Buyers will be split about 50-50 between choosing the sedan and the hatch. Now they've got their pros and cons in terms of practicality. You've got the slightly smaller boot with the hatch, but the wider, taller aperture for access, slightly narrower on the sedan. Gooseneck hinges, not really ideal because it can crush luggage, but at least they're set wide enough apart. And you can still fold down the seat backs on the sedan just by pulling this little lever here, which you don't get in the hatch. As you can see, that folds to create a completely flat cargo area. If we're going to talk about one of the biggest changes for the new 3, well, it's the cabin. A revolution in terms of perception of interior quality. Soft touch plastics abound on the dash and in other places, maybe not quite up to the Golf standard, but certainly not far off. There's also a new MZD Connect system, which is all controlled either by a 7-inch touchscreen, or you've got this joystick and rotary dial controller system down here. I would say inspired by BMW's iDrive 10 years ago, that would have been a bad thing. But today, well, that's pretty much the benchmark in infotainment systems. Unfortunately, more than half of Mazda 3 buyers will miss out on MZD Connect as it's not available on the most popular Neo variant. MZD brings voice command operation, Bluetooth, sat-nav with traffic updates, and the ability to use your smartphone to integrate internet radio apps such as Pandora, Stitcher and Aha. No, not that kind of aha. But if Take On Me were a title song for a small car that has laid down the gauntlet many a time to its rivals, does the new Mazda 3 improve further as a driving experience? An Achilles heel on the old Mazda 3 was road noise, particularly on typical coarse chip bitumen that you find in Australia. Have things improved with the new 3? Well, certainly the cabin is a little bit quieter than before, but road noise is still a little bit intrusive, and certainly not up to the hushed levels that you find in the Golf. If the Volkswagen hatchback's refinement benchmarks are still intact, there's a greater challenge in the way its Japanese rival steers. The Mazda 3's suspension is on the firm side again, particularly if you have the 18-inch wheels of high-spec models. But the ride is always comfortable, even if you're going around town or in the country. The Mazda 3's traded a little bit of sharpness for comfort, but that's no bad thing. And this is still one of the most dynamic and entertaining cars you can buy in the segment. There's no diesel offering this time round with the Mazda 3, but there are 2 petrol engines. There's a 2-litre and a 2.5 litre. Now we're in the 2-litre to kick things off, and well, look, as you're getting up from low speeds, it is a little bit on the sluggish side compared with the 2.5, but it is a smooth engine. And also on this particular model, we've got paddle shift levers, and if you are on windy roads, I do find that it is preferable than leaving the auto to its own devices, just to make sure there's just a few more revs on board for better acceleration. We've now switched into the range topic SP25 Astina that comes with the 2.5 litre engine. And it doesn't take long to appreciate that the 2.5 litre engine has just got much livelier performance. It just revs beautifully. The 2.5 litre 4-cylinder engine is exclusive to SP25 models, and the GT and Astina versions include one other handy bit of technology. A new head-up display can pop up to provide the driver with a digital speedo and other information such as radar cruise distance setting or sat-nav instructions. The Astina also adds further safety tech such as blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning and auto brake to help avoid low-speed collisions. Can the Mazda 3 reclaim the title of Australia's best-selling car? Well, you've got to think it's got a great chance because this is the best 3 yet, with newfound layers of sophistication. Not just in terms of the technology now available, but also in the way that it looks, inside and out, and also the way it drives.